Happy holidays everyone, this is Enzo from Kenzone, and you already know that this is the most horrible time of the year. Just kidding. But anyway, we do apologize that we couldn't upload any vlogs. It's just that me, along with our director over there, we were taking care of some personal things which we wanted to make sure that we get them prioritized so it does not get in the way of our future videos and other projects like the ones you see in our Facebook page. So let's get started with this particular video. And just for me saying happy holidays alone, you know that this particular video will be about our recommended Christmas films. And of course, we're only going to limit it to 10 because there's just too much Christmas films out there. We can't fit them all at once. But we will mention some honorable mentions in the comment section once the video is uploaded. And in case your picks didn't make it, we did it on purpose by leaving them out because we're not really after the festivities of the Christmas season, but we're more after on the alternative way of appreciating a Christmas film. So sit back, relax, and grab some popcorn if you actually already have one, which... oh crap, I didn't cook any popcorn, so enjoy the list. Klaus. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Netflix gets a lot of, negative reactions considering the types of movies they actually release every once in a while, but what disappoints me about this film is it did not win the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. Although I'm not surprised that the Oscars actually gave it to the actual winner, Toy Story 4, it's still a big disappointment because this is the type of film that actually feels fresh, because I love the idea of seeing hand-drawn animation. And guess what? Yeah, you might think, yeah, it's a story about Santa Claus, but it's not the way you think, because this is actually starting from scratch origin story about Santa Claus himself, but he's not the magical type, but instead he's more of this reclusive toy maker, and in order for the children to receive the toys, he was able to get help from a mailman. And wow, instead of using reindeer, think about that, a mailman. How is that not already a good Christmas classic? No, it's not even a question. It's not even a question that we shouldn't be waiting for it to be an instant Christmas classic. Take it from my word, and maybe our director will agree with me as well. It is an instant Christmas classic because it's a fresh take on Santa Claus's origin stories. And if you don't believe me, you might as well watch it yourself, because this is the type of film that Netflix should focus on more, is by taking more risk and not do what they did with Cowboy Bebop, which if you've read the news feed, I don't have to go any further than that. Krampus. Yeah, we've gone from Santa Claus to the exact opposite of him. The one that actually goes after children, and it does not end well. Krampus. Well, I did review this film back in October because I was doing again my 31 days of Halloween by watching different horror films in each day and actually giving them my overall thoughts on it. And this is actually one of my recommendations. And I know it's too early to watch it because it's not Christmas, but it has elements of horror in it, so why wouldn't I watch it? I don't really have to tell you why you should watch it, because just from the name alone, it's just as famous or as infamous as his own counterpart, Santa Claus. Oh yeah, I do have problems with the ending of this film because of, yeah, it's just that moment that gives me that cringe-worthy face like, oh, why did they go that route? But if everything else, it's brilliant. And I love the twist on how it does, celebrate a Christmas figure that is not Santa Claus. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, I don't really have to get into further detail about that because I did mention it is actually one of my favorite films from the year I was born, and for pretty good reason. I do love the creepy, scenery it gives, and you can watch it in 3 different seasons. Halloween, Thanksgiving, and of course, the Christmas. I mean, it has the word Christmas in the title in it, so I don't really have to go into detail. I mean, the songs are iconic, the creepy imagery is more meant for Halloween, but the story itself, it's very Christmas, theme, which I don't really have to explain it. It's very self-explanatory. Especially with the idea of, especially an individual like Jack Skellington, trying to figure out what is Christmas all about. And of course, I can tell you, you cannot touch it. And no, a Christmas tree does not count because that's just an excuse to give us a wrong idea of what Christmas is all about. And that question will remain in our heads. What is it all about? But I'm not going to answer that because this is not a philosophy class. Edward Scissorhands. Wait, are you just yelling at me that this is not a Christmas film? I'm gonna ask you to shut up and sit down and let me finish first because I haven't even got into the details yet. Yeah, a lot of this story is not set in Christmas, but the conclusion to this film is actually on Christmas. And the way the story is being told, since the whole story is in a flashback, the main female character, Winona Ryder's character, Kim, she's telling this story to her granddaughter on Christmas time. So, if you still don't think this counts as a Christmas film, I would like to give you these two fingers, but I can't because I know children are watching, so I will not. But now you understand why it counts as a Christmas film. And I don't really want to go into detail of it because when it comes to Tim Burton's work, you really have to see and appreciate the gothic vibe, and at the same time, a sweet story about finding family and actually taking in someone who may not be by blood, but doing it out of, one of those, one act of random kindness, I think. So yeah, it does count as a Christmas story, considering the themes that it surrounds. Batman Returns. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, you must be disappointed at our selections right now, but it's a Christmas film, believe it or not. The movie opens in Christmas Eve during the birth of Penguin, and the entire movie is set on Christmas. So, how is this not a Christmas film? So, if you tell me it's not, I think you need to see your eye doctor because I think you're still blind. I don't even think getting contacts will help because it's very clear it's a Christmas film, right? So yeah, but someone asked me how do I justify it as a Christmas film? Simple. Both Batman, Catwoman, and the Penguin, they do have one thing in common, is finding family. And especially with Bruce Wayne, he tried finding that in Selina Kyle. Penguin tried to find that in terms of acceptance from Gotham City. And as for Selina, tried to find that in Bruce Wayne, also known as Batman. To be honest, I can go on a separate review for this, and we could make a separate review, but no. Because why would we review it when you should have seen this film already? Fun fact, this is actually the film where I personally blame, apologies for this, I blame McDonald's for advertising this film the wrong way because this film is not for damn kids. Batman is not for kids. He's for us teenagers and adults growing older. Since when is Batman for kids? And nope, don't answer that question. It's rhetorical. Batman's not for kids. Simple as that. And there's no reason why we shouldn't include this underrated cult Christmas classic. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss. 5 o'clock, solve world hunger. Tell no one. 5:30, jazzercise. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again. 7 o'clock, wrestle with my self-loading. I'm booked. Of course, if I bump into the loading to 9, I could still be done in time to lay in bed, stare at the ceiling, and slip slowly into madness. But what would I wear? Oh, I am so sorry. If you didn't get what I was just saying right now, I think I just gave you a taste of how amazing Jim Carrey's performance is in our obvious choice in this list, is Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. Do I really have to go? Okay, fine. Since you're all so curious, like I said, Jim Carrey's performance is amazing, and the dialogue that I just said just now is one of his best and my personal favorite lines of this entire movie. And I wish I can share more, but it's gonna spoil the experience. So, for those of you who actually grew up watching this, you're goats. Oh yeah, I'm a goat too, and our director's a goat as well. And for the rest, I recommend watching this. And we do not give a damn about your opinion about the original's better. That is not the point of this movie, because of course nothing beats the original. Why do you have to tell me it's something that I already know? But anyway, the point is, if you want a live action adaptation, could you get anyone better than Jim Carrey? I don't think so. You just not might know there could be a gremlin in your house. No, I'm not gonna sing the theme song because that's one of my... Actually, you should be surprised to know that is actually one of my favorite Jerry Goldsmith music that he composed. Because if you find this selection strange, creepy, or unorthodox, that's because I like that kind of Christmas film. Because I don't like the, cheesy kind of Christmas film. I like something that resembles, destruction, chaos, because in real life, that's what Christmas is all about. It's about the disaster that comes along during the holidays, which we all know it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Don't let those commercials fool you. And I think this movie will convince you with that. But of course, it wouldn't have happened if the main characters didn't break the 3 important rules, such as don't feed the gremlins after midnight, don't get them wet, and of course, they can't be exposed to sunlight. So yeah, how can I not love this film? And of course it's a freaking Christmas movie, damn it. Director, are you just eating my cookies? Who told you that you can eat my cookies? Put the cookie down! Now! Oh, I'm sorry. I think I just spoiled again another iconic line from probably a movie that gets negative reception by both audiences and critics, but who gives a damn what they think? When I was a kid, at first my late father didn't want me to watch this again because he told me it was a good film in a way, but it's really not meant for kids, and I agree with him. I just rewatched this film last night before today's vlog, and I will never forget what he said, because yes, this film is not for adults at all, and I gotta say, this Christmas film is actually very honest on how it shows what happens during Christmas season, and it's chaos. I mean, does anyone have parents here who experience of having to run through the department stores, toy stores, or any store during Christmas Eve, only to find out you're actually fighting other parents in order to get that because you just want to make your kids happy, which, by the way, to our parents who actually experienced that, we really apologize. And now, as an adult myself, I can understand the struggle of finding that perfect gift to actually give to our loved ones. And you can actually say that particular movie is still timeless because, let's face it, especially if you're related right now, what is the one item right now that a lot of people are fighting over right now? If you're talking about the Taylor Swift album, no, and that's not it. The item that people are fighting over right now is, especially last year, is the PlayStation 5. Holy crap. Those things are always sold out. And if you're able to get your hands on one, you're lucky. So yeah. So you can understand why this film is in this list. Is it a good movie? Who cares? It's an underrated cult Christmas classic. So who gives a damn about the critics and audiences thing? And speaking of audiences, we, the audience, are actually requesting it to be shown on television every year. So if that does not convince you that this is a good Christmas film without you realizing it, then fine. I don't have to explain myself any further. Die Hard. Yeah, I can see the disappointment in your eyes. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, by the way, because how can we not watch this movie every year or every day about a man who stood up against the terrorists and his detonators? Yeah, I mean, it's so obvious that this film is set in Christmas. I mean, the songs being played are Christmas songs, and the entire setting is set in Christmas. And hello, the idea of a man trying to get home, trying to spend the holidays with his wife and child. How is that not a Christmas, theme movie? Yeah, I know it's more of an action film, but it doesn't freaking matter. It's set in Christmas, and a lot of people already consider it a Christmas classic, whether you like it or not. Yeah. I don't have to say what the best Christmas film for us is. I really don't have to. It's so obvious. What do you think is gonna be number one, huh? Still not convinced? Tell me what I'm gonna give you, you bandwagoners. I'm gonna give you, to the count of 10, to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pop your guts full of lead. 1, 2, 10! Keep the change, you filthy animal. Still not convinced? I'm gonna give you the count of 3 to get your lousy, lime, full of flesh and carcass out my door. 1, 2... Merry Christmas, you filthy animal, and a Happy New Year. I can make a separate review of this particular film because I was not born when this film was released, but damn, it's one of my favorite, not Christmas films, but one of my favorite films of all time. Don't let the Rotten Tomatoes scores fool you, or the critics scores fool you, because this is a well-directed film, and like I said, me and the director, we could have made a separate review video for this, but we won't, because we prefer seeing your disappointment in seeing that in your faces, that your picks did not make the number 1 list. Because, are you kidding? Home Alone's the greatest, no doubt. If you think there's another film better than Home Alone, of course I just gave you a threat to get your carcass out my door right now. And that is all our choices for our top 10 recommended Christmas films. Yeah, I know. I said we are more satisfied in seeing the disappointed looks and all in your stupid faces. But I think you get the point of our list today, because we don't like picking things that most people would pick, like what do you call that? A Christmas Prince, those bad Christmas films we see on Netflix. No, we're not like that. We're trying to get you back to where you started, and that is called your childhood. But for those born in the 2000s and above, go ahead and watch these films. There's a reason they're called timeless classics for a reason, whether for good reason or not. And of course, that will be all for today. And if I had to pick any last things to close this video, yeah, winter season for anime is actually coming, and I'm curious which set of anime do you want us to review next. And as you can see, we're kind of exhausted that we actually reviewed 3 particular animes for fall 2021, and we're almost done actually. And I'm really enjoying watching the ones that I actually am reviewing right now. But of course, I did recommend some underappreciated ones. So I mean, don't I always? And of course, don't worry, even if we're not always posting vlogs every day, we always have something to share. And we already proven that with our anime reviews and our quotes that you can see in our Facebook page and our Instagram. So, again, happy holidays. This is Enzo from Kenzone. And don't forget to click the like, subscribe, and of course, like and follow our Instagram and Facebook page. Happy holidays, everyone.